Thursday's win over Chelsea. That in goal, where Marie Hourihan replaces England #1 Karen Bardsley, who is rested. With 4 goals in 3 games, Tony Duggan is joint top scorer in the spring series. World Player of the Year Carly Lloyd serves the 2nd game of a 3-match ban. 2 changes for Arsenal, who've had a clear week to prepare for this. Dutch international Sari van Veenendaal returns in goal at the expense of Anne Morehouse. England's most capped player, Farrah Williams, also moves to the bench. It means Leah Williamson moves into midfield, with Dominic Janssen returning at left back.
See Man City play with Kira Walsh as a sitter in a midfield 3. She protected 2 centre-backs, and that's basically City's insurance policy, as Bronze and Stokes are very attacking and support the out-to-in movement of Paris and Lawley. Now Arsenal are pretty much well set up to stop City's midfield 3, and they rely on the goal-scoring expertise of the 4 players in the attacking unit. It will be really interesting to see how the 2 young centre-backs cope with the attacking force of City.
Swing this in here for Manchester City with 7 minutes on the clock. Van Veenendaal stays put and off the post, and they're still trying to scramble it clear, and eventually Arsenal managed to do it.
The ball was heading towards Steph Horton, dropped in front of Jill Scott, and she tried to backheel it round, and I think it hit the post in the end.
Yeah, I'm not sure Jill Scott could do anything else. Brilliant header from Steph Horton initially, because she had her back to goal. She had to just...
Duggan central. Gunners look to go right at the heart of that Gunners' defence. The shot from some way out. Wasn't too far off, was it, from Kira Walsh, who is clearly a player full of confidence right now.
Kira Walsh spotted Van Veenendaal off the line. I don't think that was expected. Goalkeeper Kira Walsh just thought, I'm going to have a strike here, and it actually wasn't that far away. What a terrific strike.
A clear temptation here to go for goal and test Hourihan in the side today, with Bardsley rested. Up steps Janssen, and off the wall into the top of the goal.
I really thought that was going straight in then, just that deflection. Janssen can strike it, although I think the run across her did sort of confuse her a little bit, but that did look like it was going straight in from Lucy Brock.
Calendar as the men's game from this season coming, 2017-18 season underway in September. It's a good ball through, and a mistake here by Hourihan, and Van der Donk's effort, and a let off for Manchester City.
Just a little bit of lack of concentration there from the keeper Hourihan, but Van der Donk, she's always ready to pick up that spare ball.
Los has definitely said, when the goalkeeper Hourihan gets the ball, close her down, try and make her play things early. But they're just doing it in 1s rather than in 2s and 3s.
It's a great ball towards Paris, and Van Veenendaal had to gamble. It was the right decision.
Just a little bit of a point there where Paris could have just got a foot on the end of the ball, but Van Veenendaal, brilliant goalkeeping there. Just as it bounced there, she could have got to it, but I think when you've got a goalkeeper that big...
Flicked on by Carter. Given away here by Horton, and O'Reilly has picked out Mead. It's a real opportunity this for Arsenal. Can she finish? She can't.
I think initially it was a mistake defensively from Man City, but it looked a little bit like she could have ventured offside. She just couldn't get rid of it. Steph Horton gave it to O'Reilly. It wasn't offside, but Beth Mead just, as much as she tried, she couldn't get it out of her feet to have a proper strike on goal.
Poor defending from Manchester City. I think they'll be disappointed with that initially, but when the ball goes through to Beth Mead, it gets stuck under her feet. She just can't.
And they're repaying the faith that he's showing in them. There is always that element of unpredictability, though, with young players. In it goes from Campbell. Van Veenendaal with the punch, and Lawley will hit it, and it was off target.
Composure, you just need a little bit of composure there, which Lawley usually has, but as it came to her, I think it was a punch from the keeper. Just need to get...
It's made a big difference to the game, as I recall, that day. Mead with Nobbs to her right, and O'Reilly up in support as well, and Mead goes on. Good play.
It's better from Beth Mead, and it's a better shot with the left foot than the previous one from the corner. It's still really enough to test Hourihan.
I initially thought because she had played it to Jordan Nobbs a little bit earlier, who was just...
Power forward to Scott, now it's Paris. Good run here from Lucy Bronze, trademark stuff from her, and in it goes, and any sort of touch, and it was 1-0. Still could yet be an opportunity. Behind for a corner, great play from Bronze.
So difficult to deal with a fullback like Lucy Bronze will run up and beyond Izzy Christensen, wishing she was about 3 inches taller there. It's a great move, and all she could do was just lay it across and just in front of Izzy Christensen.
Great play from Manchester City. The fact that Nikita Paris came in to draw the player, which allowed Lucy Bronze to get round the outside. Lovely ball across, did everything right, but Izzy Christensen just couldn't. Just needed a toenail, didn't she, to touch it. So close.
Hamill's delivery over towards Bronze, who got ahead to that. Scott was in there as well. There was a bit of a shove in there.
Like a handball from Jill Scott as well, just from the reaction of the Arsenal players.
Mead looking to release Carter. Arsenal looking to hit Manchester City hard on the counter-attack. O'Reilly with Nobbs getting into the middle. She's been found as well. It is Nobbs for Arsenal. It's deflected and O'Reilly will seek to keep it in. And Carter's in support.
Just the chance has gone, but what a great counter-attack that was from Arsenal. Goes well for the next season in September.
You do wince a little bit, don't you? Particularly with the England players, with the squad already picked and has been for some time for the Euros by Mark Sampson. Lucy Bronze, one of those who will play a central part every time one of them goes down injured.
I bet Mark Sampson just wants to wrap them all in cotton wool right now, because you just worry for them. You just hope that they don't pick up any niggly injuries. You need them to play because they need that, that 90 minutes under the belt, their match fitness, but yeah, you don't want them to pick anything up.
What about the naming, Lucy, of the squad so early on? There's been some debate about that. What's your view?
I'm not so sure, because I think it sort of reduces how competitive this spring series is, and also that the players who could be in good form by the time the spring series ended and not going to get in the squad. I understand the reasons why, I do understand that, but I sort of look at it and think that you could have probably have had a look at the form of some of the players that were on the brink of the England squad and seen how they did in this spring series, because you've got to have players in form at these tournaments. But that's Mark Sampson's prerogative, and that's what he's decided to do. And these players are now safe in the knowledge that if they stay injury free, that they'll be going in the summer, which is brilliant for them.
Is Carter one of those who won't be going? Let's judge the shot. Patton finds Carter, who's immediately on the turn, looking to get away from Lawley. Shot. Target again for Carter, who's had 2 early sights of goal in this second half.
Some of the link-up play for Arsenal is top quality.
Carter. Good movement from Van der Donk and indeed from Scott as well. And they find a quality delivery here. Scott's ball in there. Easy take for Hourahan. There has been some great build-up play from both sides. You'd have to say particularly Arsenal in this second half, just lacking end product.
That's all it is, and the interchanging in positions, the full-backs overlapping. This is a good run from Alex Scott again, just didn't really find that final ball into the box, but
Walsh with the ball looking for Paris. What a pass that's turned into. Paris is going to have to go alone surely here. Duggan arriving in support. The angle was incredibly tight though for Paris. Wonderful vision from Walsh in the first instance.
All created from the ball from Walsh.
With the run through the middle.
He's got good vision, Williamson. Got a great ball that was through to Van der Donk.
Flag has stayed down here. It's Paris. Has got Duggan up in support, and still Nikita Paris.
The amount of chances Nikita Paris has had, she's got herself in great positions, and all credit to her for the last couple of games that we've covered, and just cannot get that goal through want of trying. But you just know that the outlet for Man City is always the ball over the left back's head.
Stokes. What's been misjudged, and it's Duggan. The angle's difficult. She makes it better for herself, but the shot well off target in the end.
It's probably the only mistake Patton has made. The only problem is when she plays centre half, if you make a mistake, then the opposition are through on goal. She did well to try and make up for it, stayed with Duggan, and Duggan just couldn't curl it in that top corner.
Campbell sliding in, was brave, paid off, and now Christensen has Stanway beyond the advantage play by the referee. Georgia Stanway. Paris there as well.
Can get any sort of pace on it there, Stanway from a standing start.
Duggan is the player hurt here. To see her straight back to her feet, but what an opportunity it was a little earlier for Jill Scott.
What a ball this is, just cuts in onto her right foot and it's whipped in with so much pace, and Jill Scott just gets in between two players. It's a free header, I think she is reaching for it slightly. Straight at Van Veenendaal.
Keeper was really happy to see that coming straight down her throat, because she looks at Jill Scott and she knows that she can spot
too. I think at times you've seen Tony Duggan come quite deep to try and get on the ball, and that's just down to defensive.
Nobbs with the ball in. That wasn't far away at all. Took the deflection, which will lead to a corner, but it could have been even better for Arsenal.
She's got that in her locker as well, and she Jordan Nobbs from that range. It just took a touch on the edge of the area from Steph Horton, I think, and away from the goalkeeper, because she was worried though, Hurahan.
Crossed by Nobbs. Just over the head of Anna Patton, who was forward from the back. Now Georgia Stanway up against Scott. 4 forward in this attack for Manchester City. That's a good ball. And it's Izzy Christiansen just the wrong side of Tony Duggan. Just a lack of conviction, really, from both sides in an attacking sense so far. That wasn't the easiest ball for Hurahan. Just wonder whether Nobbs might just decide to fire this in as we approach the final quarter of an hour. She does just that! Oh, that's genius! Brilliant from Jordan Nobbs. Her third goal of the spring series is a special one.
You called it, Adam. I think you knew that she got it in a locker to do that. A terrific strike, and she just caught. She knew, I think, that Hurahan was expecting her to just clip the ball in, and she thought, well, I have the ability to strike it, and you'll see probably better from this angle. That's a terrific strike. I mean, she's not getting anywhere near that, regardless of what positioning. But terrific strike from Jordan Nobbs, and one she's well capable of.
She actually hits that with the outside of her foot, if you can see, which makes the ball just curl into the top corner. And I think Hurahan just took a step to her right, and then she couldn't quite adjust her feet. But what a strike. Don't want to take anything away from Jordan Nobbs there. You know, the ability, the awareness and the confidence to actually go and do that. Fantastic.
Shouts that she'd let the ball drift over the goal line, but in the end she picked someone out, and it was Duggan, and she just couldn't get the pace on the ball.
Good play from Jill Scott, and she's just thought, I need to take this into my own hands and make something happen, which she did.
Taylor looking for the chip.
There's another one capable of spectacular goals, Jodie Taylor.
Farrah Williams is ready to come on for Arsenal, perhaps just shore up that midfield, provide some fresh legs for the Gunners. Paris with the ball into the area towards Stanway. His first touch let her down a bit.
I don't think that maybe her first touch needed to be the shot then, Stanway.
Duggan. Paris. She's done well. Heading for that byline. And Paris pulls it across. And Demi Stokes can hit it. It's on her wrong foot, really, wasn't it? Jodie Taylor up against Horton. Taylor goes on. Horton trying to rescue the situation.
Say 18 years old, and they do play above their years.
Arsenal win at the Academy Stadium. A glorious free kick from Jordan Nobbs proves to be the difference. Manchester City beaten in a league match here for the first time in more than 2 years. The last team to manage it have repeated the feat under Pedro Martinez Losa. A big boost ahead of the next WSL season for the Gunners. It's a rare setback for City. Sue and Lucy, your final thoughts, please.
Yeah. Well, I think that the teams did cancel each other out. Tiredness came into play for Man City, which affects your decision making, and then it was won with a moment of brilliance. And I think that it was always going to be that or a mistake.
Yeah. I've got to say, a real professional performance from Arsenal. The fact I thought they defended very well, and when they went forward, they looked lively. They looked good, like they were going to create something. Manchester City, yes, I do think fatigue's played a part in this. It was a really difficult game against Chelsea, but well done to Arsenal.
Lovely free kick from Jordan Nobbs. We'll see that plenty more times, I'm sure. Full time at the Academy Stadium. It is Manchester City 0, Arsenal 1.